This is the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. I'm your host, John Solberg, and this edition is being brought to you by The Butcher Shop. The Butcher Shop is home of the A9 Master Kobe briskets, where they are always hand-picked. This father and son team has been operating this retail meat market in Pensacola, Florida for the past 15 years. Kevin and Jordan ship nationwide to many of the biggest names in barbecue. The A9 brisket won both sides of the American Royal Cook-Off, and that happened in 2019. They also ship some of the finest prime, dry-aged Australian Wagyu and Japanese Wagyu steaks to people just like you and me who aspire to be the kings of their backyards. The Butcher Shop always has Berkshire, Compart Duroc, Allegiance Duroc, and Prairie Fresh all-natural pork in stock, and again, always hand-picked for you. Now, are you into wild game items like bison, venison, elk, ostrich, camel? Have you been searching for those 10 to 12 pound boneless turkey breasts featured on How to Barbecue Right? The Butcher Shop has them in stock and they are ready to ship to you today. So whether you're looking for the best competition, briskets, ribs, or pork butts, or you just want to have a better option to cook at home, give the Butcher Shop a call, 850-458-8782. That's 850-458-8782. Or reach out to them on Facebook, facebook.com/thebutchershop, shop spelled SHOPPE. Mention the Barbecue Central Show and you're going to save 10% off your entire order. The Butcher Shop is home of the A9 brisket. And here's what's going on today. Greg is going to talk to the inventor of the Ribolator. The Ribolator is still around. I still want one, just like I did way back then. Here's Greg and the Ribolator inventor from April the 6th, 2010.
Let's go to the hotline. Joining me right now, the smartest man in the world, the maker of the Ribolator, Bob Garnash. Bob, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great, Greg.
Great. Thanks for joining me tonight, Bob. Wanted to have you back on. Obviously, people that might be coming in as new listeners or really haven't delved back into the archives, why don't we go ahead and kind of, get a little background about you and how the Ribolator came into fashion?
Okay. It was about 3 years ago. I like, of course, cooking ribs, and they always turned out bad. They were tough, dried out. I had to come up with a better way, and I kind of invent as a hobby. And so I put my brain to work and thought, hey, rotisserie would work, but how do you rotisserie a rib? So then I just started banging and welding and came up with the Ribolator, and I wanted something that would be where the rib was exposed, so it wasn't in a basket, because once it cooks, the basket, you open it up and all the meat comes off or the sauce comes off. I wanted to be able to baste it as I was cooking it, and came up with the Ribolator, and made a few prototypes, used them for a while, and just started making them.
Yeah. How many iterations do you think you went through before you have the one that is actually on the market, or are you constantly kind of tweaking and reinventing?
I'm probably at about the 5th generation.
Wow.
And I think we pretty much have it down. We just have to make a few modifications to this. We made the modifications on the kettle version. So on our next order, which we've already placed, the modifications will be on that version also, which makes it just a little better apparatus to hold the tray in place there.
And for the people that don't know exactly what we're talking about here, if you have a spit rod and motor already, you have that big spit and you jam chickens or big cuts of beef or whatever it is on the rod there, and then you secure it with those tines. The Ribolator actually, if you have an existing spit rod, goes onto the rod, and you have now 4 trays that rotate in a Ferris wheel type fashion, so you can actually put, as the commercial says, it's really up to your imagination, but you can do a bunch of different, or you can cook a bunch of different things at the same time, and really that's kind of one of the unique advantages of the Ribolator.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I never realized how good salmon tasted until I cooked it on the Ribolator. It's almost like butter in your mouth when you eat it now. So eating it anyplace else, it just ruins you for other food.
I
You can put almost anything on there.
One of the downfalls of becoming a very good backyard cook is then having to go out to eat and suffering through the terrible food that the chefs are sending out. Again, we're talking with Bob Garnash, inventor of the Ribbolator. Ribbolator.com is the website if you want to go check it out.
Now, I got one more thing that might be of interest to you.
Okay.
Is we just made a deal with Cajun Bandit to make the stainless steel extension rings for the kettles. And this extension ring will be, like I said, out of stainless steel, but it will also can be used for the WSMs as well as the kettle. So it's reversible. So you'll have a double ring in one. And we will be the only U.S. distributor, along with Cajun Bandit, to have these.
And these are going to be for the 22.5 inch?
For the 22.5 inch, yep. So you'll have two rings in one, and we'll be getting those first shipment in hopefully next week.
All right, so very soon. And for the dim-witted, what Bob is basically saying is if you have the 22.5 inch grill and the 22.5 inch Weber Smoky Mountain, and you have a rod and motor, you can get the Ribbolator and move it from one to the other.
That's correct.
There you go. See, and I think one of the good items to mention as well is the fact that if you don't have one, because I know some people just don't have a spit rod and motor, they might be under the impression that you're getting like the whole kit and caboodle. Now, if you go to the website, it's kind of a one-stop shop. Not only can you get the Ribbolator, but you can get the accoutrement to outfit it properly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And did we mention about the Ribbolator for the kettle? We also have them for 22.5 kettles as well. It's not on the site yet, but all they have to do is order the regular one. And in the comment box at the very end of the checkout, they can put kettle, and we'll know which one it is. Or they can call me.
All right, so one of the other things that we wanted to talk about tonight, Bob, aside from pimping the products because they're out there and I believe they're being received very well, and a lot of the internet chatter about the Ribbolator especially and the Flavor Dome is that they work exceptionally well. And once you go through that very brief learning curve on how to get everything hooked on to the rod, and as you had mentioned in a post from somewhere, if you actually take out those papers called the instructions and read them and actually put those to use, a very noble and very smart thinking of you to actually recommend reading the instructions. But we're men, right? And we
we made the instructions for the women to read to the men.
There you go. Again, Bob Garnash invented the Ribbolator, and it's out there for sale right now. Ribbolator.com is the website, Ribbolator. So go ahead and check that out, Bob. Appreciate your time tonight. Thanks again.
No problem. Thanks for calling.
All right, take care. There he is. Bob Garnash. That guy's day job, you would think that the Ribbolator would maybe somehow translate into what he does during the day, but it's not. This guy he's a real inventor. And I didn't know whether he wanted to actually talk about it or not, but I'll tell you anyway. It's my damn show. He does, you hear those commercials, well, at least I do here on the radio for Safe Light repair, the glass repair people, and you hear about the guy going, yeah, my customer of mine had a little chip on her windshield, and then she fired up her car and turned on the heater and hit a pothole, and it cracked all the way across, and she could have saved all that money if she would have came, and we could have injected special something or other into it. Well, he's not Safe Light, he's his own company, but he does cracks, but like he's developed this resin injection thingy deal that can go. He was telling me, these Safe Light guys do like chips, but he does like half windshields or whole windshield cracks. I mean, it was like completely outrageous and impressive to no end that he's sitting there coming up with all these developments and all these chemistry type things to get these resins just right. And he can fix like a whole half a cracked windshield. It was unbelievable. That's his day job. So, when you're pissed because a rock kicks up and cracks your windshield, feel good for Bob because, that's money in his pocket to keep the Ribbolator going.
Broken windshields and ribs. Who'd have known? You can still get a Ribbolator. Still go to Ribbolator.com. You can also go to the BBQCentralShow.com and get the rest of the show. I suggest you do it. And then while you're over there on the internet, head on over to Facebook.com/The Butcher Shop, shop spelled SHOPPE. Get yourself some Compart or Berkshire ribs to throw on that Ribolator. Mention the Barbecue Central Show and you will save 10% off those ribs, pork butts, briskets, whatever you want to get from there. Go check them out. And until next time on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, I am your host, John Solberg. I look forward to talking to you again soon.